Let's get to know New Orleans wedding photographer Josh Williams. In this series, we interview professional wedding photographers and ask them questions about their work and their personal lives. This series is great to help you research and find a photographer that matches your style and your personality. Josh, welcome to our YouTube channel. This feels long overdue after so many successful weddings together. I want to jump right in with how did you become a photographer and when did you start in the wedding industry?
Hey Adrian, thank you so much for having me. And yes, this is way overdue. I started back in photography when I was about 16, 17 years old. And then from there, I went to college for it in Florida at Ringling College of Art and Design. And then I moved to Los Angeles where I professionally started in around 2006, 2007. And then for the wedding industry, oh man, I really dove hardcore into that about 6 years ago.
I know you do fashion and celebrity photography as well. How does your work in those areas influence your work in weddings?
So my fashion and celebrity work has transpired into my wedding industry because my clients are now wanting to feel that type of glamour and what I deliver to my celebrity and fashion clients.
You're from the New Orleans area, but you've lived and worked in other places as well. Tell us about that.
So I used to live in Sarasota, Florida for 4 years for college. And then from there, I moved to Los Angeles for 10 years, which was absolutely amazing. I wouldn't have changed a damn thing about it because it made me who I am today.
What's special about New Orleans versus the other places where you've worked?
So what's different about New Orleans weddings is the one thing I love, it's a lot of different cultures and a lot of different people coming down to New Orleans. And you get to see how each person celebrates life differently and love differently. And there's so much happiness and everyone's just down to celebrate.
What are 3 words that describe your photography?
So 3 words that describe my photography that I hear a lot about from my clients is one, that they love that, yes, it's posy, but it's more on the fun side. And then also that I'm bringing out this beauty in people that they have never seen in themselves. On top of that, it's just fun, candid. I like to show just how much love was there at the weddings and just you look back at the photos and go, that's a damn good time.
How do you operate on wedding day? Are you more directive or do you focus more on candid pictures?
How I operate on wedding days is, it depends on the wedding, first of all. But normally I try to be a little bit direct, but I also do candid a lot. But I used to work in production, so my production side comes out. So I get a little bit direct, but I kind of make sure that the client is still having fun and that I'm not taking away from their day.
After a wedding, what's your routine to wind down?
So after a wedding, how I like to wind down is usually 1, go to bed. But to just TV or have a cocktail with my assistant or any friends afterwards, but it's mainly just to decompress the entire crazy day.
What are some of the shots you get on wedding day that couples don't know to ask you for?
One thing that couples forget to ask me, and I always try to remember doing this, is getting special moments with certain family members to where if the dad is seeing the bride for the first time or the mom seeing the son or daughter for the first time, that moment between them where they just are holy crap, we're getting married today.
What are your hobbies?
So my hobbies outside of photography is usually traveling. I have a lot of friends in Los Angeles and Florida, so I like to go see them a lot. But I enjoy kayaking, hiking, swimming, anything just to get me away from the computer.
Finish the sentence. My best clients always ask.
So my best clients normally don't ask me anything because they've learned to just trust my crazy ass. So that's about it. They just trust whatever I tell them to do.
Tell us a duty you have on wedding day that most people don't know about.
A duty that I have on weddings. It's usually when my production side kicks in and I turn into a wedding planner and I have to kind of remind myself that that's not my job.
Tell us about your editing process.
So my editing process right after a wedding is usually, once I get home, I back everything up as safety precautions, but I will go through every photo that I have taken at the wedding and pick out the best ones. But normally my retouching process, I tend to overshoot to try to get that one epic image and go from there.
What's your favorite organizational tool?
So I have a couple of favorite organizational tools. Of course, on my computer, I have multiple hard drives, so I kind of keep everything organized on there and from job to job to job. And then also my camera bag is pretty OCD in that department.
What's your favorite New Orleans photo spot?
So one of my favorite locations in New Orleans is obviously the French Quarter, because you get all kind of different architecture, and also there's so many different colors that you can just kind of feel like you're not in New Orleans and you're also like in a different country.
Teach us something you wish people understood about photography in a minute or less.
So one thing about photography that I wish people would kind of understand is not feeling like it's so forced, but also understanding your angles. Sometimes shooting below is not so flattering on people, and sometimes shooting above makes people look even smaller. It's just all about finding that right angle and the right lighting, but also understand like you do have Photoshop that you can kind of correct and manipulate stuff to get the image that you would like.
What's your favorite business podcast or book?
So I don't really have a favorite book, but one of my favorite podcasts is actually my clients, which is Going to Bed with Garcelle. It's a lot of fun. It's very adult entertainment. So there's a lot of like adult discussions and like things you can relate to as we've gotten older, and then people with kids. It's hilarious, and it's just something you want to listen to with a cocktail and just relax and laugh.
Are there any pictures that have to be more choreographed on wedding day that you have to really direct?
So some of the photos that need to be choreographed on the wedding days, of course, the family photos, the bridal party photos, but even sometimes like the getting ready photos, like you need to tell people where to position. A lot of the stuff is staged because it's never flattering watching people actually get dressed. So it just depends on the day and who your client is.
It has been a stressful year. How do you keep cool when things are getting stressful?
Oh man, yeah. Last year was super, super stressful, especially for everybody in the world pretty much. But one thing that taught me last year was, one, cherish the little moments with everybody, but also like to de-stress for me is to take a trip with my friends and just kind of like decompress and forget about all the stress that's going on in my life.
Is there any part of your photography business that you are looking to expand or grow?
Oh yeah, I have some ideas in the works for my photography business as far as making it grow. One of them is actually I would love to have a wedding venue one day.
What is your Enneagram type?
So my Enneagram type, I actually took the test, but I am the enthusiast because I like to keep things fun, loving, adventurous, and just not so stressful.
And where can we find you on social?
So you can actually find me on Instagram under Josh W Photo, or you can find me on my website at joshwilliamsphotography.com.
Josh, thank you so much for doing this video. It's so good to interview you and to introduce you to our viewers. To our viewers, thank you for watching and happy wedding planning.